New Destiny's story mysteries, and it gets pretty deep. A pre-Golden Age train from possibly Chicago appears on an alien world. A new character called Lodi is seen through the collapse and being torn apart. And we also get a look at some new press images from Destiny 2's next destination, Kepler. Welcome Guardians, let's dive into these mysteries. Hidden within the new expansion trailer were some clips and stills that are quite strange and give us a little more backstory. Characters, environment secrets, and connections to previous stories. The other day and in the new trailer, we still see the word Chicago at the end and next to Kepler. I was hoping we'd get to visit some part of this mystical city in the Destiny universe, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. You never know, maybe we still get transported there for a mission, some type of mini lost sector or whatever. But instead for now, there seems to be connections story-wise to Chicago on multiple levels. During the trailer, we see a train crashing through a portal. This train has connections to the 9 as the logo pops up. The strange thing is this train is also visible in the new destination on Kepler. Take a look at these clips. So the interesting part is, this train may have originated from Chicago. Perhaps a version of it even before the collapse, way before it. LA Point Tech on the Destiny lore subreddit made this interesting connection. The train we see in the trailers is the same one that existed in real life back in the 1970s. Maybe versions of this still exist. Not sure if they're up and running or not, but trains like the one we see in the images here were back in the 70s. And where else but Chicago, a Ravenswood train to be specific. So if this train is from around the 70s, that's kind of intriguing. Doing a quick search, I actually found that in 1977 there was a train derailment in Chicago involving one of these trains. It says the 1977 Chicago Loop derailment occurred on February 4th, 1977, when a Chicago Transit Authority elevated train rear-ended another train in the northeast corner of the loop at Wabash Avenue and Lake Street during the evening rush hour. The collision forced the first 4 cars of the rear train off the elevated tracks, killing 11 people and injuring at least 268 as the cars fell onto the street below. So obviously I'm not sure if this real-life story is involved or not, but the train in Destiny brings up questions. Why was the train sent through the portal possibly to Kepler? It seems the 9 were the ones responsible for this given their logo flashing during the intro, but why? Was somebody on this train that was important? If that's the case, it leads me to our new character, Lodi. Allison Lur said this in the stream.
That was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo, we're introducing him in The Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. he's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything.
Yeah.
And what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water? I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is, but I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
So that makes me think if anyone is qualified and has all of this knowledge about subjects like this, maybe time, about sending messages like the one we received in Vesper's Host, maybe it was Lodi, and maybe he was on this train. In Vesper's Host, the message came from an incomprehensible place, and Lodi is a long way from home. Maybe his home was Chicago, maybe even in the 1970s. Inside the train, we can even make out some of the logos on the walls. It's kind of hard to depict on the left side here, but over on the right we see Ishtar Research Lab. And if Ishtar was involved with whatever project this was, Clovis Bray likely was too. If you watched my video the other day, there was a Golden Age predecessor to the hockey company that existed in Chicago. They say it was pre-Golden Age, and whoever sent the Warlock Shayera to find this information was looking for connections to Clovis Bray too. Other slowed down images and stills show us what appear to be Lodi suffering through the collapse. We see skyscrapers crashing down as a man floats in the center, pyramid ships in the distance. So I could see a couple of options. Maybe this train was from the 70s and went through a portal to Kepler. To me, it doesn't necessarily look like what I would think a Golden Age train would look like. So that's what leads me to believe it wasn't around the collapse, but it was actually before it. We see strange imagery of Lodi looking at the train, the transportation, and then fragmentations of himself. So very cool and many possibilities here. Let me know your theories down below. During the trailer, he also speaks in saying he isn't human anymore. So I'm not sure if there's a different version of him than the human version we see here. And he also relays the same words we see in the items from the collector's editions.
Observe, connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply, return. They just wanted to show us disasters. Observe, connect, conceal. I'm not human anymore. Return, conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like.
So this kind of gives the vibe that Lodi is on some type of mission, whether he intended to be here or not. His job to observe, connect with something, comply, and eventually return. Although his words do change throughout the trailer, possibly giving off that he's become corrupted or his mission has over time.
The reply coming back through the anomaly let me scrape a facsimile of the original message. It was a locating ping. The content was irrelevant. The signal was the message, "Hello, world." And something overrode my lock on the anomaly. Allowed it to power up enough to receive the reply. Warning. Unauthorized message coming through the anomaly. Data follows. Lodi transmitting. Status Moonsig. Adrift. Odysseus protocol active. It repeats from there. Do you recognize the code?
Kepler's destination is also going to be fun to explore. From the press kit we get a bunch of new images. And it just makes me think back to Vesper's Host. We of course seen that message Lodi sent through the anomaly, but also had strange egg-like objects in the environment. We see similar things here on Kepler. the Guardians even using some of these egg-like sacs for their new abilities. Other areas of the environment are very human-like. We had concepts from last year, but also images like this one. These may be the people who have been on Kepler for a long time. But I can definitely see connections to Clovis Bray or some type of weird program possibly originating from old Chicago itself. But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.